Returning to the Cortland house from the clinic, I walked straight into Wyatt, carefully helping Grace out the door. I'd already padded my waist to hide the truth of the abortion. They noticed nothing. Grace smiled sweetly, her tone intimate and pointed. Really, I just mentioned a little discomfort. And Wyatt insisted on taking me for a checkup. Always so dramatic, he's so responsible. When you have your baby, he'll be a wonderful father. In my past life, those words would have filled me with foolish hope. Now, reborn, I found them only grotesque. I saw the look in their eyes as they glanced at my stomach, not a trace of care, only naked greed and calculation. In that former life, I'd been blind to their false warmth, blind to the fact that my husband Wyatt always cared more for Grace than for me. When Grace and I coincidentally gave birth on the same day, I'd been a naive fool, musing about arranging a marriage if we had a boy and a girl. But after the birth, Wyatt stormed into my room clutching a bundle, slapped me across the face without a word, and roared that I'd betrayed him, that I'd slept with a foreigner. I stared at the mixed-race infant in my arms, speechless with shock. He demanded a divorce in front of the entire hospital staff, deaf to all my pleas. He went further. He presented fabricated foreign letters as evidence and reported me to the FBI for collusion and espionage. Overnight, I became a despised traitor, rested before my body had healed. I was sentenced to 10 years. 10 years in hell, 10 years of torment. When I was finally released, Wyatt and Grace were waiting. They laid out the truth themselves, the slander, the evidence, the mixed-race baby, all of it was their conspiracy. They had switched the children. They used Grace's child to frame me and stole my own son. Wyatt, his arm round Grace, holding my biological son's hand, tossed $500 at me like I was a beggar. This, he said lightly, was compensation for my 10 years and my ruined reputation. Grace was too fragile, he claimed. He had no choice, and my own son looked at me with utter disgust, called me a convict, and claimed only Grace as his mother. The tidal wave of humiliation and hatred was too much. My prison-ravaged body failed. I died right there on the spot.